Imagine a global economic strategy meeting where the consultant is Mark Twain, the risk manager is Fyodor Dostoevsky, and the ethicist is Leo Tolstoy. The Chief Economic Strategist called this summit expecting a standard world stability report, concise, clear, with pictures. Instead, what arrived was a dense 99-page technical manual of pure sovereign governance architecture. It was titled The Architecture of Assured Governance, authored by Lev Goukassian. Tolstoy immediately recognized a threat. To him, any system claiming absolute machine-driven truth is a war between human conscience and cold mechanics. Twain, on the other hand, found it hilarious. He knew humanity would reject this absolute truth. Society prefers its cozy little lies. Our global economy relies on profitable ambiguity. Plausible deniability is a feature, not a bug. And this room of ghosts had just encountered a framework designed to make economic lying mathematically impossible. Hemingway respected the brutal simplicity of the system's first rule: no log, no action. If an action isn't rigidly recorded, it simply does not exist. But Dostoevsky saw the psychological terror in this. He obsessed over the epistemic hold, the agony a traitor would face when forced to pause and stare at their own corrupt intentions before acting. The epistemic hold acts as a technological purgatory. The system's logic halts. A mandatory pause forces the user to register any doubt, awaiting definitive confirmation before execution. Once that hold resolves, the action locks into a permanent ledger block. The ambiguity vanishes completely. This shifts the entire burden of guilt. Finance currently runs on post-action apologies. This rigid architecture requires pre-action certainty, systematically dismantling the "I didn't know" defense before a trade even executes. Shakespeare realized the theatrical horror of this mechanism. A corrupt bank cannot simply delete its local files to hide a crime. The hash of every decision is immediately sent and permanently anchored to public blockchains. The data becomes a digital fingerprint, locked onto Bitcoin, rendering local erasure entirely useless against a global ledger. These digital fingerprints continually broadcast to multiple decentralized networks, including Ethereum, layering the verification. When they searched for the architect to interrogate his motives, they found a legally binding, blockchain-anchored document called a voluntary succession declaration. Goukassian had resigned all unilateral control over his own creation. By digitally severing his own authority, he proved the architect operates as an independent, self-sustaining framework of truth, rather than a centralized dictatorship. The opulent room darkened. A massive screen flickered to life, connecting these literary titans to the tired, pragmatic architect in real time. They hurled their central question at him: have you built a dystopian prison to constrain human behavior, or a utopian palace? Lev offered a neutral answer. He built a museum of conscience. It strips the powerful of their alibis and ensures every economic choice is signed by its author and placed on display. Pablo Neruda saw the poetry in the system's sacred zero. It is the mathematical realization that freezing in doubt is far superior to recklessly plunging into the abyss. The code does not force humanity to be good. It simply ensures that every economic lie is immediately exposed, certified by time, and left visible to history. The video call ended. Silence fell over the giant sequoia table as the ghosts looked out at the stark, beautiful reality of the mountain landscape, processing a world where every intent is finally visible. Future generations will inherit our poetry and our balance sheets. Every choice made at this table now leaves an undeniable, time-stamped record of human behavior. Profitable ambiguity cannot survive an immutable record. The comfortable lies that fueled global finance have finally hit a mathematical wall. This is the result of assured governance. From this moment forward, "I didn't know" permanently translates to "I didn't want to check."